If you remove comparison from your mind, but don't build something inside, your brain will search for a new mirror, and it will always choose one that makes you feel smaller. In the last video, you learned how to quiet comparison and reduce unnecessary mental threat. But silence alone creates a question. If I'm not measuring myself, then who am I? This is where many people feel lost. They confuse identity with personality, or with achievements, or with how they are perceived. But those are outcomes, and when identity depends on outcomes, the nervous system never fully rests, because outcomes change, feedback changes, attention shifts. So today, we're not talking about confidence, or self-esteem, or motivation. We're talking about structure. An inner identity is not something you tell yourself. It's something your nervous system recognizes. Neuroscience shows that regulated minds rely on internal reference, a stable sense of self that exists even when nothing is happening. Without internal reference, the brain keeps asking one question: how am I doing? And that question quietly sustains anxiety. From the inside, identity is not a story. It's a felt sense. Not I am successful. Not I am enough. But something simpler. I am here. This may sound subtle, but subtle is where stability lives. Let's slow this down. Most people experience identity only when they are doing something. Working, improving, helping, producing. When activity stops, identity feels thin. That's why rest feels uncomfortable, why stillness creates restlessness. The brain has learned to exist only in motion, but identity that depends on motion collapses under pressure. So we begin differently. For a moment, let go of fixing. Not permanently. Just now. Who are you when you are not proving anything? Not improving, not explaining, not preparing. You may notice the mind go quiet. That space is not emptiness. It's raw identity. Unlabeled, unmeasured. Stay there briefly. You don't need to define it. Defining turns identity into thought again. Just notice the sense of being present. This is internal reference, and the brain recognizes it as stability. Now, here's an important truth. Affirmations often fail because they try to install identity at the level of language, but identity lives below language. In sensation. In presence. In orientation. That's why repeating statements rarely creates lasting change. The nervous system trusts what it can feel, not what it is told. So instead of affirming who you are, we inhabit where you are. Right now. This is not passive, it's foundational. Because once identity is anchored internally, comparison loses leverage. Validation becomes optional. Not forbidden, just unnecessary. But here's what most people miss. Identity alone is not enough. Even a strong inner sense can destabilize under fatigue, stress, or emotional threat. Life applies pressure, and pressure reveals structure. That's why this is not the final step. Silence was step 1. Identity is step 2. But identity must be protected. In the next video, you'll learn why relapse happens even after clarity, and how to stabilize your inner identity so it doesn't collapse when the world gets loud. If this grounded you, write rooted in the comments, and when you're ready, continue to step 3. Protect your inner identity and prevent mental relapse. Welcome deeper into the inner field. This is where the center begins to form.